Okay, I've had some channel viewers ask me to do a tutorial video on the great Smith song Suffer Little Children off the first LP. Yeah, what a great song. Classic Smith stuff right out of the gate. Signature Johnny Marr guitar work, which I'm sure, you know, he'd probably been working on this or saving this up since he was a teenager. Morrissey's classic droning lyrics, the maudlin subject matter, great song. And I'm going to play it today on this 1965 Fender Musicmaster 2, right? So this is the full-scale student model, as opposed to the earlier Musicmasters had the 3/4 scale neck. This one here has the full-scale neck, great Fender neck. And I put some upgrades on this guitar to make it more to my liking. I took out the original stop tailpiece that it had, and I put in a 1965 original Fender Mustang vibrato bridge, and then I took off the really cool tortoiseshell pickguard that it came with. Still have it, of course. But I added this clear pickguard backed by some vintage 1950s foil paisley wrapping paper, which you know, is green and gold and paisley and very late 50s, which sets off this what was once Olympic white, but 50 years later has aged into this really wonderful butter yellow color on this guitar. So just a really nice rig. I love it. It plays really well. It's got a very strong single coil original Fender pickup here, all the original electronics. So it plays very nicely on this number. Now, one way to make sense of this song, which sounds really complicated in terms of the way that Johnny Marr plays it, because he does an arpeggio style all over the place, right? And he's so good at that. And I can't really get close to it. But the way I make sense of Johnny Marr's work is he really just plays simple chords or chord shapes and then just arpeggios all around them. So one way to think of this song is that you just need to know some chords, okay? So, and these are chords that most or not, if not all of you will know. So one of them, of course, is a C shape, right? So you got to know the C, and then the same chord minus your index finger. It's a really wonderful, melancholy sounding chord. And then, of course, we have the G, right? Just down here on the 4th and 5th frets on the A and D, E and A string, pardon me. Right? Then let's see. There's he plays a C with this note. Kind of, you catch the B string on the 5th, so you get this. Right? Right? That's another chord shape in the song. Then there's this really interesting one here. It's at the 4th fret B string, 6th fret A and D. So it's not really a chord per se, because these strings in the middle, if you hit them, it sounds weird, right? But just these 3 strings, A, D, E, A, D, B, pardon me. And then you move that down 1 fret, the same shape, and then you can play them all. What a great chord, right? Great chord, right? And then let's see, there's this kind of A sus chord here. Really wonderful chord that he plays all around. Okay? And then just kind of a single here at the 4th fret G string, and the rest open. Whoops. So those are the chord shapes that Johnny Marr works into this song. So the beginning has this, we're in the C shape, but minus the index finger, right? So we're in this shape here, and we're just going to jump. We're going to hop from the from the D and A string down to the A and G string, right? Okay, but there's a bit of a hiccup the way he plays it, and it took me a little while to figure it out, but once you figure it out, it sounds really good, and when you play it at speed, it just flows, even with the hiccup. So it goes something like this. I don't know if there's an easier song on the planet to drop notes where you actually miss notes playing than this one. But so that's the action you want to get there, right? You're just moving from here to here, but you're playing this like this. And I'm going to show you rather than telling on a lot of this, okay? Because just way too much verbiage. I did that. And you want that to almost become unconscious. So now I'm up there at the B string, right? Whoops. Follow? Whoops. So that's an open G string there, right? And boy, when you slow this down, your brain actually starts to get in the way of your fingers. So you want it just become just muscle memory rather than thinking your way through this. If you start thinking, it all falls apart. So there. See, I didn't think at all. I just went after it. And you got to practice it. You've got to think it first, of course. But once you do that long enough, it becomes unconscious. Right? Okay, so I'm going to show you the transition. So there's your transition note. I come up with my pinky and I grab the 6th fret low E, right? And then I go into this A minor shape, only I take off my ring finger, so I'm left with this, right? But of course I don't play the chord. Johnny Marr always does the arpeggio, so it goes like this. And I'm going to show you rather than telling you for the first few times. Tricky. So that's an A open string. So that's the D string at the 4th. That's the B string at the 3rd. Hammer on at the 5th A. Open B string, 4th fret G string, high E open, right? So it goes like this. Then we jump right back into this. So I missed a few strings there. Then into this tricky bit. Got it? That's That's a really important move in the song. Right? Okay, so we're left here. But notice where your middle finger is. At the right point in the song, you're just going to add your index finger to the D string 4th fret for, you know, this A sus shape, right? So this is the, let me see if I can get the action right here. So yeah, so this is where we go into that next part of the song. So again, from the tricky bit. Playing an arpeggio all around that, right? So that's A, D, B, G, D, high E, B, G. Then we jump into this shape that I showed you. At the 4th fret B, 6th fret A and D. And you only play those 3 notes. But then you're going to slide it down, and then you're going to play all of the inside notes. With a pull off on the B string, 3rd fret. So again, from here. Got it? Okay, then the next phase, we're basically here in a C shape, so that's what Johnny Marr uses. So here we are in the C shape. Whoops. How I hammered on there at the 5th fret B string, high E open. Now I'm at the 3rd fret B string open. Then the 4th fret G string. See how I did that? I'll play that again. Whoops. There is not an easier song on the planet, again, to drop notes on than this song. I dropped 3 or 4 there, even though I, know how to play it. It's so easy to drop notes, and it really gives you an appreciation for just how precise and ringy Johnny Marr's guitar work always was. So, one more time. Right? Whoops, see, I dropped notes again. Okay. So it's hard for me to explain exactly what I'm doing there. I'm just kind of filling in some sound with the chord that I've got set here, so it's not going to sound bad because it's a chord, right? And I'm right back here. Now, when you're all done with that, and on the album they go into the chorus, but the chorus is a bunch of guitar overdubs. So what I do instead is I pull out an old Simon and Garfunkel guitar trick that goes from basically a C, or pardon me, a G to a C to this weird chord here. I don't know what it is. then to another C, and then slide the C up. So I'll show you how I do that. So I go from a G to a C to that chord there, which is at the 4th fret A, 5th fret B, back to a C, and then slide that up 2 frets. Right, so I play this C shape, and then I go up here to hammer on at the 7th fret B string, and then I catch the high E at the 4th, hammer on and open, right? So it goes like this, and I'm going to go right back into the song. Okay, so I go from the G, so there we go. I've just showed you all the elements of the song as I know it, and I've tried to explain it as a collection of chords that Johnny Marr does arpeggio work around. I think that's the easiest way to do it, rather than telling you each individual note, because that's just way too much information. And I don't think that's how Johnny Marr thinks about it. I think he probably approaches it as, well, I really love, you know, certain chords that are movable, that I can move around the neck and just arpeggio those and get it to sound marvelous. And as we all know, he's the master. So I hope that was helpful. Did it kind of quickly, and you know, there's probably a damn good reason why there aren't other tutorials on this song, because it's very busy. But if you take the time, you can figure it out. It's really worth it, because it's you know, throw some chorus on there, some delay, some reverb, a couple of amps, you know, and you've really got a wonderful sounding song. Right? Keep playing the Smiths.